welcome to the Explainer. You know that feeling of being totally stressed out? That constant pressure, that sense of being overwhelmed? Well, what if I told you that a major source of that feeling isn't just your to-do list, but what's actually on your dinner plate?
I mean, it's so easy to blame work deadlines or just a hectic schedule for all our stress. But what if your morning coffee, your lunch, or even that drink you have to unwind could be secretly adding to that feeling of being overwhelmed? Let's break down how that actually happens.
All right, so first things first, we've got to meet the main character in this whole story, cortisol. You've probably heard it called the stress hormone. And yeah, for good reason. It's a really critical part of your body's internal alarm system, getting you fired up and ready to handle a threat. In the short term, it's incredibly helpful.
But here's the catch. The problem starts when that alarm system gets stuck in the on position. When your cortisol levels stay high all the time, it can disrupt just about everything from your metabolism all the way to your heart health. And as we're about to see, our diet plays a huge role in keeping that alarm bell ringing. So, what foods are ringing that alarm bell? Let's start with two of the biggest and, let's be honest, most common culprits: the sugars and stimulants so many of us rely on to get through the day.
So, that morning cup of coffee, that jolt of energy you feel, isn't just in your head. It's because caffeine triggers the release of hormones. And yep, cortisol is one of them. Studies actually show that caffeine can temporarily jack up your cortisol levels by a pretty significant amount. You can see coffee has the biggest effect here, but energy drinks and even tea do the same thing, just a little less intensely.
And next up, we have sugar. You know, it really doesn't matter if it's coming from a candy bar or even a glass of fruit juice. The effect is pretty much the same. You get this super fast spike in your blood glucose. Now, your body's all about balance, so it sees this sudden jolt as a kind of emergency, a stressor that it needs to get under control. And its response? You guessed it, it releases cortisol to help manage the whole situation.
All right, but let's go a little deeper. Beyond the really obvious stuff like candy and caffeine, there are some hidden stressors that might be lurking in the meals you eat every single day.
For example, take refined grains, like the kind you find in white bread or most pastas. The key difference here is fiber. The refining process strips all that good fiber out, which means your body digests these foods really quickly, causing that same old blood sugar spike that triggers cortisol. Whole grains, on the other hand, keep their fiber, which is fantastic for keeping things nice and stable.
Now, here's something really interesting. It turns out your eating habits matter just as much as your food choices. The speed and the sheer size of your meal can be a stressor all on their own.
There was this fascinating study from 2023 that shows just how much our habits matter. Researchers gave participants this massive 2,000-calorie meal, which for a lot of people is an entire day's worth of food in one sitting.
And here's the kicker. They had to eat it all in just 15 minutes. The physical strain of processing that much food so quickly put the body under a ton of stress, and that led to a major cortisol spike. It's a really powerful reminder to just slow down and be mindful not only of what you eat, but how you eat it.
Diets that are high in certain fats, from things like red meat and fried foods, can also contribute. Over time, these can promote this low-grade inflammation throughout your body. Think of it like a constant low-level alarm that's always on. And when that alarm is always going, it makes it much, much harder for your body to properly regulate its primary stress hormone, cortisol. Okay, let's get into two more major categories that are pretty well known for their impact on our stress hormones: the convenience foods we grab on the go and the drinks we might use to unwind at the end of the day.
Ultra-processed foods are basically like a perfect storm for cortisol. They often combine multiple triggers all in one package. Things like added sugar, additives that can cause inflammation, and of course, refined grains. It's like a triple threat that puts your body on high alert.
And this connection isn't just biological. Research confirms that people who eat more of these ultra-processed foods also tend to report feeling more stressed in their daily lives. It becomes a kind of feedback loop between your body and your mind.
And finally, alcohol. Studies have shown that even as little as one drink a day can increase cortisol, and when you get into binge drinking, the effect is magnified. Your liver has to work incredibly hard to process that alcohol, and your body registers all that hard work as a major stressor. Okay, so after hearing all of that, you might be feeling like your entire kitchen is suddenly off limits. But that's not the takeaway here. The goal isn't about strict rules or eliminating foods that you love. It's simply about developing a new kind of awareness of how what you eat really affects how you feel.
So here's a really simple 3M framework to help you out. First, mindfulness. Just start noticing. How do you feel an hour after that donut versus an hour after some oatmeal? Second, moderation. You don't have to give up coffee or dessert, just be conscious of the overall balance. And third, management. If you're having a food that's known to spike cortisol, like pasta, you can manage its impact. Pairing it with protein and fiber, like from some chicken and a salad, slows down digestion and helps prevent that big, stressful blood sugar spike.
So what does this all mean for you? It means you have the power to make these small, really impactful changes. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Looking at your own plate, what's one small thing you could rethink today to help your body better manage its stress?